And information that is just coming in consequent to the ceasefire and airspace violations on the night of 10th and 11th of May, the Indian Army Chief reviewed the security situation with army commanders of the western borders. Sources tell WION that the COAS has granted full authority to the army commanders for counteraction in the kinetic domain to any violation of the understanding reached between the DGMO talks which will take place tomorrow. And that's just coming at this point of time. Sources tell WION that COAS has granted full authority to the army commanders for counteraction in the kinetic domain to any violation. And sources also tell us that in conversation with J.D. Vance, Prime Minister Modi said that Operation Sindoor is not over and we are in a new normal, which Pakistan needs to accept. For more on this, our SNF Foreign Affairs Siddhant Sibal is now joining us on the show. Siddhant, get us up to speed with the latest that's coming at this point of time, with Prime Minister Modi saying that Operation Sindoor is not over and we are in a new normal. What are you picking up?
Well, the clear message from New Delhi is if Pakistan hits, then India will be hitting Pakistan with double force. And essentially, a clear message has been sent to the heartland by the Indian side, striking on the terror camps in Muridke and other places. The Indian side is now also going to expose Pakistan at the international forum, especially making sure that the UN knows about the Pakistan involvement in terrorism. The 1267 committee of the UN, the Sanctions Committee, which is basically the core UN body that lists terrorists as international terrorists, and Pakistan has a distinction of having the most number of terrorists on that list. The Indian side is next week going to send a team there who will be giving evidences regarding Pakistan's role and involvement in terror attack. But clearly, what the sources said, and now I'm saying in Hindi what exactly they said, that goli ka badla gole se denge. That means with the focus, of course, will be a stronger force from the Indian side. And they also talked about, of course, the US role as well. There was a conversation initiated by the American side. J.D. Vance spoke to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday. And during that conversation, the Indian Prime Minister told J.D. Vance clearly that if there is a strike by the Pakistani side, then there will be a response by the Indian side. And exactly that happened. In fact, on 9th evening, both the leaders spoke. On 10th early morning, the Pakistanis were launching strikes in 26 places in north and western part of India. And in response to that, India, in a major way, destroyed 8 military sites of Pakistan. And essentially, that's the big message
right,
that is given to Pakistan. In fact, what was significant is the DGMO talks. It was at the request of the Pakistanis.
Right, Siddhant. Now, just coming to the point you made about the strikes that India carried out at terror camps in Muridke, Bhavalpur, which were intended to tell Pakistan that we will hit you and we will hit you very hard in your heartland. And that's exactly what sources tell us, the statements which are coming out. I also want to talk about the fact that you mentioned the conversation of Prime Minister Modi with J.D. Vance, and we are also learning that Prime Minister Modi has said that there's only one matter that is left: the return of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir from Pakistan. Talk to us more on that.
Well, yes, clearly the American side has been talking about their role. They have been saying that they have facilitated, but there are no takers about it here in New Delhi. What the Indian side has clearly sent a message is that if there are talks between India and Pakistan, there will be only on 2 counts. One, the return of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The other, of course, is the issue of terrorism. They have to hand over terrorists who are responsible for terror attacks here in India. So that's the clear message. And the sources also dismissed a key Pakistani misinformation campaign, perhaps I would term it as. That is that the Pakistani foreign minister said in an interview to the Turkish channels that there are talks between NSAs of the two countries. The sources said that there is no such talks happening between the two sides. What is the clear message is that there will be only one a channel of communication, that is the DGMO level talks, and that of course are happening. In fact, Saturday we saw the conversation happening, and now the next round will take place on Monday at 12 noon. So all in all, a message first on the cost India has imposed on Pakistan supporting terrorism. The second, of course, that the Indus Water Treaty remains in abeyance. There is no reversal that is going to happen. And the third, of course, is that if Pakistani side tries to hit India in any way, there will be a double response from the Indian side.
Siddharth, I also want to talk to you about what are India's gains from Operation Sindoor, because clearly with the statement which we are also learning at this point of time, India has gained on all fronts, political, militarily, psychologically and also internationally. Get us up to speed on all those fronts.
Well, the biggest gain India has been able to achieve is put a cost on terrorism for Pakistan. And this has a context. If you look at the two major attacks India had before this, whether it was the Uri or whether it is the Pulwama terror attack 2016 and 2019, India was striking at the LOC, and then in the next retaliation by the Indian side, the strikes on terrorist camp, India went to Balakot as well, which was in Pakistan. Earlier it was Pakistan occupied Kashmir. But slowly, this time around, the threshold level has been substantially increased. The costs have been substantially increased. India has been able to strike not only terror camps in the heartland, that is Punjab, which is the heartland for the Pakistani army, but also able to make sure that the message goes to the military by striking on their military sites, including the Noor Khan airbase, which is the heart and soul in many ways of the Pakistani military. This is something that is well known now, and this has shaken up the system. So the cost is something that is the biggest deliverable. Other than that, India has been able to put in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty, because India has been calling on Pakistani side to basically make sure that there is a review of it, because this was a treaty signed in 1960. The situation has changed, glaciers are melting, the non-renewable energy resources have been the key focus area. For last 2 years, India has been asking Pakistani side to make sure that there are intergovernmental negotiations. One of the clauses to the Indus Water Treaty has a clause that you can review the treaty. The Pakistani side was not keen. Now this is clear that the Indus Water Treaty is gone forever. And the third, of course, is the new normal that India has set up with the Pakistani side. Gone are the days when there were engagement in terms of a very colorful language, I would say. This is a new normal, a normal which basically says that Pakistan and India will not have any normal relation in many ways. We know that the missions are present, but I do not see a reversal in measures like making sure that the military diplomats are reinstated, the positions are reinstated. I do not see Pakistanis getting visas very easily now. I do not see the Wagah-Atari border being opened as it was, with full ceremony happening as well. So many things have now changed between India and Pakistan, and they're here to stay.
Right, Siddhant, and clearly Prime Minister Modi has said that this is the new normal which Pakistan needs to understand, and even the world needs to understand that this is the new normal. And the attack on the Noor Khan base is after which alarm bells were sent to the Pakistani military establishment there. I also want to talk about the fact that apart from sending this very strong message that Prime Minister Modi said, the new normal that we are in, he also said that we cannot equate the victims and the perpetrators, and said that New Delhi will only talk to Islamabad through the channel of the Director Generals of Military Operations. Tell us more.
Well, yes, in terms of how both sides conduct a state-to-state relationship, now the big focus will be on the DGMO level talks. Of course, there are missions with 30 sanctioned strength, but in terms of the border situation, it is the DGMO level talks. Also, when we talk about how India and Pakistan engage on other fronts, the focus from the Indian side will remain on exposing Pakistan's support to cross-border terrorism. Whether it is at the FATF, India is likely to raise Pakistan's support to terrorism. That means India will be now pushing Pakistan to the grey list, whether it is the UN, where India plans to get more terrorists listed. So there will be a stronger opposition that India will be giving to Pakistan in every front possible, and also highlight its role in supporting terrorism. And for India, the clear focus is in terms of terrorism. This is completely not acceptable, and this is something that India will not allow coming from Pakistan.
Absolutely, Siddhant. That's the big message from India, not just to the world, but also to Pakistan. Operation Sindoor is on. If they fire, we will fire too. But thanks for getting us up to speed with all that's latest at this point of time.